Hello, everyone, and welcome to Channel 41. I'm Nia Walker, and tonight we're diving into the lore of Elden Ring. It's a fascinating world, full of complex characters and moral ambiguities. The big question we're tackling tonight is the Tarnished, the player character, actually the villain of the story? I mean, think about it. We're this outsider coming in, shaking things up, and ultimately taking down some pretty powerful figures. So, Jack, what are your initial thoughts on this? Does the Tarnished's quest for power and control ultimately paint them as a destructive force in the lands between?
Well, Nia, look, it's a fascinating question, right? I mean, the Tarnished is an outsider, sure, but so are all the demigods in a way. They've all succumbed to the influence of the greater will or other outer gods. So, are we really so different? I'm not so sure. Like, Marika shattered the Elden Ring, Radagon tried to fix it, Runny had her own schemes, everyone's messing with a natural order. The Tarnished just happens to be the one with, the player guiding them.
The idea that the Tarnished could be seen as the villain is, totally wild, right? But think about it. In the lands between, everyone's caught in this web of ambition and divine influence. The demigods like Marika, Radagon, and Runny, they all have their own agendas, and honestly, they are not exactly saints themselves. The Tarnished, driven by the player, becomes kind of a wild card, you know? They are disrupting this unstable status quo, which might make them appear villainous. But maybe that is what the world needs, a shakeup. It is sort of like being the anti-hero in a world full of flawed heroes. Who knows? Maybe being the villain is not so bad when everyone else is just as guilty. Okay, so Emma, I think you've hit on something really interesting here, this idea of the Tarnished as a disruptive force. Jack, you were saying that all the demigods are kind of outsiders too, influenced by these outer gods. Well, to be honest, it makes me wonder, is the Tarnished really any different? I mean, sure, we, the players, are guiding them, but everyone in the lands between seems to be acting on someone else's behalf, right? Whether it's the greater will or some other cosmic entity. So, where does that leave us in terms of deciding who's the good guy or the bad guy? It's all so blurry, isn't it?
Well, Nia, you are totally right. It is blurry. It is like, who is pulling the strings, right? Is it the greater will, the two fingers, or some other creepy outer god we have not even met yet? Everyone is a puppet, even Marika supposedly. So maybe the Tarnished is just a puppet with better stats, A puppet that can actually level up and get cool new armor. That has to count for something, right?
You know, Jack, it is kind of funny to think of the Tarnished as just a really buff puppet, right? But seriously, what makes the Tarnished stand out might be their ability to, transcend these puppet strings. They have the freedom to choose, which many of the demigods, driven by their destinies or the whims of these outer gods, do not seem to have. It is like free will is their ultimate weapon. Maybe the true power of the Tarnished is, this ability to rewrite the narrative in a world where everyone else is stuck playing roles. It is this unique choice that complicates the whole good guy, bad guy dynamic. We are not just stuck in someone else's story, but crafting our own. In the end, it is about who can break free and, make their own story legendary. So, Emma, you're saying the Tarnished's real power is choice, right? That it's not about stats or who's pulling the strings, but about the ability to break free and forge your own path. It's like, in a world of puppets, the Tarnished is the only one who can cut the strings. I guess, Jack, that makes you wonder, what does it really mean to be a hero or a villain in a world where everyone is so messed up? Does free will really change the game that much?
Well, Nia, free will is like a giant pizza with extra toppings. Everyone wants a slice, but no one knows how to order it, except the Tarnished. Maybe the demigods were just hangry, you know. And as Emma said, maybe free will is not about being good or bad. It is about what kind of pizza you want, extra cheese or pepperoni. Do you want to become the Elden Lord? Or do you want to let the world burn with the frenzied flame? Menu is wide open, baby.
Jack, I love that pizza analogy. It is so true, right? The world of Elden Ring is this buffet of choices, and the Tarnished is the only one really digging in without worrying about a diet. It is not just about choosing the toppings, but redefining the whole pizza. If the demigods are hangry, then the Tarnished is like the adventurous eater, ready to try a bit of everything, even if it means mixing pineapple with anchovies. That is what makes the Tarnished stand out, this daring freedom to explore every flavor without being tied down by tradition or destiny. So, Yeah, free will does change the game because it is not just about surviving. It is about savoring every bite, no matter how chaotic it might seem. So, basically, Emma, you're saying the Tarnished is the adventurous foodie of the lands between, right? Not afraid to mix and match, try new things, even if it means a little chaos. I love it. Look, I think we've all learned something today about choice, destiny, and what it means to be a hero, or a villain, or maybe something in between. Ultimately, the beauty of Elden Ring is that it lets us decide. And that's pretty powerful stuff. Don't forget to follow Channel 41 and subscribe for more deep dives like this. Thanks for joining us.